Hello, hello, podcast people. It is month number 2 of Parker Brown's Songs of the Month. I'm so stoked that you're here, listening, engaging. I had a wonderful month on the Patreon. Had 11 memberships. 11 members sign up, which my hope was that 10 would sign up. I got 11. Look at that, exceeding my expectations. So thank you for being a part of that. Even if you're a free member, I am appreciative of you taking the time to be a part of that Patreon group. And if you are just listening to the podcast, don't want to be a member yet, I appreciate you listening to the podcast. Just stoked that anybody would engage with my music and me in that capacity. So here we are, month number 2. I am greatly excited to show these songs that I've picked. The whole thing about it is I want to write songs that engage with the emotional side of being a human. Suppose that's the lot, my lot in life, which is funny because I use that word in the next song, the lots that we have cast. So I feel like my lot in life in a lot of ways is to engage on the emotional level, a little spiritual level, and hopefully have some fun doing it. I think for a long time I didn't know how to have fun with all of it. I just thought I was like a little depressy boy and wrote sad songs or wrote songs about thinking or metaphors about how to live our life better and more honest and more open and more vulnerably. And it was weird at first. And now I'm embracing it in my 40s. What else can you do but embrace who you are, right? So here I am embracing it. And this first song is one of the early songs of the Song a Week Club. Again, I want to say hi, Gregory Bogard. He's actually not listening to podcasts for 75 days. So whatever, dude. Hopefully you listen to this in 60 days. And you know how much I love you and appreciate you. So this was a song from that group. Actually, all these are this week as well. And it's called Morning Light. The prompt was Morning Light. And I thought about this for a while and kind of came up with a little like Paul McCartney meets Paul Simon thing for this song. And another person that I was inspired by with this song is Drew McManus from the band Satsang. Drew's a very close friend of mine, one of my favorite people, and writes beautiful music that encourages so many people to think about their existence as something beautiful. And so this song is inspired by that mechanism. I think that sometimes life can be really hard, and I've felt a lot of shame in my life for the decisions I've made and things I've done in my past. We can't change it. I'm sorry. I know I've tried. It happens, but embracing that, again, who we are, and dealing with those things like shame and blame, they're not fun, but they are a part of the human experience when we're living in conjunction with other humans, making mistakes and or just dealing with people that make us feel this way. So it's a great journey and quest to overcome those feelings. So in the song Morning Light, I kind of touch on that and try to be encouraging in the same way that you might hear a Satsang song be encouraging. And I'm really stoked on the guitar playing and the chord progression, and I even threw in a modulation where we go to G instead of E major, which is quite exciting if you're into that sort of thing, little modulation. And there'll be a solo in that when we record it with the full band. This is definitely going on my next album. I'm really excited to record it, hopefully soon. And without the furtherness of any ado, I would like to share Morning Light. I'm just going to pull it up here. and it should be engaging now.
Go, but move slow, past stories and threats of fear that'll force you to bend beneath their will. 'Cause in the morning light, all your darkest hours will be gone. Pray and use both hands if you've got a line on something. You're gonna need all the help that you can get. In the morning light, all your darkest hours will be gone. Go easy on yourself, brother, these winds will change. 'Cause heavy is the hand that holds the shame. All the lot we've cast can be rearranged, and heavy is the hand that holds the blame.
Oh, that's kind of a deep one. That one hits, you know. Heavy is the hand that holds the shame. And to lighten that up, I put a borrowed chord in there in the middle of that chorus. I like to talk theory and nerd out on songwriting and ideas and chord progressions and textures and stuff like that. So if you're into that sort of thing, let's talk about it. I love it. But hit me up on Patreon and let's do it. Let's talk. I got tiers. I got free tier. I missed my finger. I got a free tier. I was watching myself in the screen. What a goofball that guy was who was doing that. One tier, free. You're just there. Sometimes I post stuff. I'll post that podcast here and links, maybe some other stuff. I don't know. Still trying to figure it out. Let me know. Let me know what I could do better. Tier 2, 3 songs. Again, I'm doing 4 songs this month. You'll figure it out. But 3 songs, at least 3 a month. Demos, rough drafts, whatever I can find. I'm looking at old stuff, finding some cool old stuff to share. That's $5. $5, 3 songs. A podcast. The podcast is free. It's like a grab bag. Tier 2, Parker's Picks. Still in the works. I'll share a musical idea and something that I find interesting, probably in a book. Last month I shared a book from Seth Godin, some parts on that, little book club. This month I've got another idea for a book I'm reading that I'd like to share. And I think I'll throw some lyrics up in there for that as well. Again, still in the works. And then if you've ever wanted to work with me on something like a lesson or, well, really a lesson or whatever, and chop it up about musical concepts, guitar, bass, ukulele, intro to pedal steel. I can't do a ton on other instruments, but I do play a lot of instruments. If you're curious on how to get started on stuff like that, or want to work and hone some skills that you see that I have that you would like to improve upon, I'm here for that too. My schedule is busy. I do have a full teaching schedule, and so being able to do Zoom lessons, I can do them during the day when I'm not teaching my regular lessons after school gets out. That's usually when I'm the busiest. So I do have a full schedule, but this allows me to work with people during times when I'm not normally teaching, and I like that. I don't mind doing Zoom. Got pretty good at it over a couple things, but COVID especially, we had to get our Zoom chops going heavy. But enough of that. That's a Patreon spiel for the podcast. Next is another song. This is a song about, I like that Tom Waits, like sneaky, dirty, scary, almost like sinister blues thing. And I've never really written a sinister-y kind of blues before. But this one was my attempt at that. And it was quite fun. Very inspired by Tom Waits. The title of the song is You've Got No Reason to Hide, which is a super long title. Probably Reason to Hide, I don't know. But I use, it's kind of like a spy versus spy meets like this. I really was picturing the movie Twister a little bit when I wrote it too, where like the shingles are being ripped off the roof and everything's swirling around, and sort of like it's kind of a fantastical blues, but also I'm sure there's a metaphor in there somewhere that I'm not quite aware of. But this is Reason to Hide. You've Got No Reason to Hide. Good golly, what a title. Here we go. Slapping that guitar.
If there's a will, there's a way, and you can find a way out. Fire shining brighter when the sun isn't out. Hands are tied and feet won't run, and the whole thing feels like it's happened before. There's a man in the black coat waiting in the alley.
Spooky.
You got no reason to hide.
I'm going to listen to another verse. Let's go a little further.
Wine and well, and I lock up the doors. The waves haven't run this boat ashore. A jet black cloud is starting to form, and the wind's pulling shingles up from the barn. Put your ear to the ground to hear what's coming. You got no reason to hide.
Yeah, there it is. That's the thing I was talking about. But that one I definitely want to bring to the band. Might be on the next album. I'm getting tunes together right now to start recording. And it's hard to sift through all those songs. When you write 52 songs plus last year, I even did some extracurricular things and some songs from the past that I'd like to do. It's really hard to try to like fit them into this one thing. So it's like, does this song go with this? Does this? And I'm kind of just in the place where it's like, let's just put some stuff out. Let's go. Let's record. I've got a fantastic band right now, and just ready to go for it. Ooh, yeah. I wanted to. I'm gonna say it. This has been a good week for me. This will segue into the next song. I didn't even think about talking about it, but now I'm gonna. I just tested for my blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu last night from the Grindhouse and received my blue belt. It's been quite the journey as a older gentleman. A gentleman in his, I don't know if they're moonlight year. What are these years now when I'm 40? But I decided 2 years ago, just about, to start doing jiu-jitsu again because of Drew McManus and his inspiration there. But getting that blue belt was something sweet. So it's quite the test of resiliency and strength. Got injured a bunch, but I had a blast. I've made some friends that have just brightened my world up, and have a really cool community to go to there at the Grindhouse. So if you're on the fence of learning some self-defense, I would recommend finding a really cool gym, jiu-jitsu gym to go to. There are a lot of them out there, but it's just good to have those skills too. You never know when you might need to help somebody out or yourself, or you get in a sticky situation and you need to use your body as a piece of protection. But yeah, so that's my spiel about that, which is the segue to a song that I just released with the band The Hell Roaring. I know I'm doing two Hell Roaring things, but we got with it this year, and that took a lot of my priority, and I'm very happy with what has been coming out from The Hell Roaring. Super fun band, and we're getting better at writing and recording and doing all that stuff. So this song was I think one of the first prompts I got to share with the Song a Week group, and the prompt was put me to the test, and this song just like came out. Like I remember it was probably like Tuesday night when we had to submit our songs, and I'm sitting there with the guitar like, and it just came out. Kind of a Jason Isbell inspired feeling sounding song, but it was about leaving Coeur d'Alene. When I moved from Coeur d'Alene, I left a really good friend there. I won't share her name, but great friend. I just had to bounce, had to get out of town, came to Billings, Montana as a little side quest because I thought I was going to go to the East Coast. Didn't make it very far. Kind of reminds me of Waiting for Guffman, where they immigrated to the East Coast from, I can't remember where, probably Europe or something, and they were going to make it to California, to the ocean, and they made it as far as Blaine, Indiana, and thought that they were there. So they only went so far, but thought that they had made it to the ocean. That's a great movie, by the way, if you haven't seen Waiting for Guffman. But yeah, so made it to Billings. I've been here for like 21 years, going on 22 maybe, and it's just been one of the best things that I could have ever done. So more on that story another time. But yeah, put me to the test, belt test, whatever. This is just me and my acoustic guitar. I'll show the full band version after this one goes.
There was a road I followed down past the old sawmill, the edge of the river where I jumped in to see if I could still feel the cold rushed over my head, and it felt like my heart could come back up for air with me to the surface. Well, I see the lights around me, and I reach out for your hand. Put me to the test, take me to the edge. Let's see how far it'll run. Don't be shy, you can break my heart up on the wheel. Put me to the test, take me to the edge. Let's see how far it'll run. It's nights like these where I don't give a damn. Put me to the test.
Yeah. So there it is. Put me to the test. I don't really know what I would have been put to the test of. The only thing I can think of is, sticking around and just being a better friend. So it's kind of been fun to process that as the months go on, living with this song and producing it with the band and the wonderful Eric Olson. On this recording, I'm just going to jump to it. Put me to the test. We got, the Hell Roaring guys, Mike Leslie on bass, Pat Epley on drums, Nick Kozub singing. I'm singing harmonies and playing guitar, and Eric Olson's playing organ. And we produced this one together, Eric and I, in our studio, the first one in our studio, and Eric mixed it, and he did a fine job. I feel like we really knocked it out of the park on this one, and everything sounds really, really good. And everybody performed really, really well, and we're getting a lot of nice response of this song. So you can get this one where it's streaming everywhere, but here's what it turned into. Real banger. Put me to the test. Here we go. Whoa. That was loud. That was loud.
Followed down past the old sawmill, the edge of the river where I jumped in to see if I could still feel the cold rushed over my head, and it felt like my heart couldn't come back up for air with me to the surface.
that's rad. And it's so fun to play. So, out of this little acoustic in the bedroom, this song happened. Wouldn't have thought it, but it's fun to see what these little song babies turn into, what they grow up to be. And that one grew up to be Put Me to the Test, that's recorded with my friends. And now I can listen to it and remember how much I love them and love playing with them. Little memories. I saw a meme today, of course, that shared by young Epitome J, who said, it was like this person saying, like, I find myself telling old jokes from my old friends, or old jokes to new friends from my old friends. I'm butchering it. But the point is, they're telling their new friends jokes from old friends, and they realize that their heart is just a museum of all the people that they've ever loved before. I thought that was really sweet. I thought of my friend Steve Taylor, who I pretty much am telling his jokes daily, from when we hung out and worked together at Jimmy D's Kitchen, like 24 years ago, when I was just like 18 or 19. Steve Taylor is maybe one of the funniest guys I've ever met. I don't know if Steve will ever listen to this podcast, but I love him, and I still tell his jokes all the time. A couple times a day, probably. I went through a phase where I thought like maybe I wasn't actually funny, that I was only funny because of my friends, and I just did the things that my friends did that was funny, and then made people laugh. The line got really blurry there for a while because I have some really funny friends. But anyway, that is the songs for the month, and I am quite pleased with them, and pleased with the fact that you would even make it this far in the podcast. So go on over to Patreon and be a part of that hang, or share. I don't know, share it. Like, are you going to share it? Maybe you will. If not, whatever. It's not important. I think we're just programmed to say that. Like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever. But you know where to find me, and I appreciate the support, and let me know what you think. People have been doing that, and it really has meant a lot. So I'll just encourage you to do that. Just looking to connect, yo. Just looking to connect. So we'll see you next month on the Songs of the Month Club. Have a great day. See you soon.